Hello students, welcome back to the third video of chapter number 5, Judiciary. Today we are going to talk about the legal system, okay, how does it work and what are the different laws which we are going to understand in detail. What are the different branches of the legal system? You are having criminal law and civil law, which we have already talked in detail about. The above case of dowry deaths, previous video we talked about Lakshman and Sudha, okay, how did they get justice? First they appealed in the trial court where Sudha got justice, later on the in-laws, okay, husband's family went further for the higher court gave the verdict in favor of the in-laws, okay. And then finally, the third time when they approached to the Supreme Court, according to the appellate system, when you are unhappy with the decisions taken by the lower courts, you can go further with your case to the higher courts. So, above case of the dowry deaths fall within what is considered a crime against a society and is a violation of criminal law. In addition to criminal law, the legal system deals with civil law cases. You have already studied in chapter number 4 of how a civil law was passed in 2006 to protect women against domestic violence. Look at this table, understand the difference between criminal and the civil law. Criminal law deals with the issues related to theft, harassing a woman, dowry cases or murder, okay. Then you have the civil law, which deals with the disputes of buying and selling of land, and then you have purchases of lands, you have the rent issues, okay. Such type of cases can be taken into the civil court. Criminal court, it usually begins with the first information report. When you file the case, okay, the FIR has been written by the police, okay, that is FIR, and based on that the case goes forward. So, same way, and then the investigation continues. In the civil court also same. Here in the criminal law, if the crime has taken place, the person who has seen is not in a condition to go to the police. In that case, anybody who is nearby and working in the same branch can go and talk about the incident which took place. So, it is not the person who has been the victim, okay. Anybody can go and file the first crime which they have seen. Whatever the incident they saw with their eyes, they can note it. In the second, that is civil law, you can see a petition has to be filed before the person, okay. Here you have to, the person who is victim, he or she has to file the case. So, in this incident there is a change, the victim has to go and file the case. In the third, if they are being found guilty, okay, then they are being put into jail or they have to pay a penalty fine. And whereas in civil court, if you go to see, the court gives specific time period. Now, for example, if we take a person, okay, who is staying in rent at a landlord's house, and the landlord is demanding extra money, okay, maybe after 3 months he is charging 1,000 or 2,000 more. Then in such cases, he can go and file a case, he can get justice from the court, whereas it can be vice versa. The tenant cannot pay the amount for 3 or 4 months for whatsoever reason, the landlord can go and file a case against him, saying that he is the person who is creating a problem, okay, and the judge can give a verdict saying that he has to evacuate the house or have to pay back the amount which he has not paid till now. So, this is how the criminal and the civil laws work out. Does everyone have access to the courts? Okay. Do everyone have access to the courts? Yes. In principle, all citizens of India can access the courts in the country. As you read earlier, the courts play a very significant role in protecting our fundamental rights. If any citizen believes that their rights are being violated, then they can approach the court for the justice. Then further, as you see, the courts are available for all in reality. Access to courts have always been difficult for majority of the people in India because it takes too much of time, a lot of paperwork, and you have to spend a lot of money, right? So in this case, maximum majority of the people cannot afford to get justice in this legal procedure. So what the Supreme Court came with a verdict? Let's see in further. In response to this, Supreme Court in the early 1980s devised a mechanism of public interest litigation, that is PIL, public interest litigation. Here any individual or organization can write a letter or telegram, okay, directly to the court, High Court or the Supreme Court, and if anybody in the organization, okay, feels that so and so person's rights have been violated, he can represent on behalf of that person, or the person who is capable can go and file his case, he can get justice from here. The legal process is greatly simplified, and even a letter or telegram addressed to Supreme Court or High Court could be treated as PIL. In the early years, PIL was used to secure justice on a large number of issues such as bonded labor, that is bandua, from inhuman work conditions, securing the release of prisoners who have been put in jail, okay, and they are not being released after the sentence which is been given, okay. So they are being kept after the punishment term for longer duration without having a check on. Here we have 4 photos. The first photo, okay, that represents 2001, the drought conditions which took place in Rajasthan and Odisha meant that millions faced an acute shortage of food because the land had got drought. In the second photo you can see the government, okay, owns a godown where full gunny bags are filled with grains. Often this was being eaten by the rats. They keep it in the open in the godown without having a shed, and here the rats eat away all the food grains. In the third photo, you can see there are so many ladies who are sitting for getting justice. In this situation of hunger amidst plenty, an organization called People's Union of Civil Liberty, that is PUCL, filed a PIL in the Supreme Court. It stated that the fundamental right to life guaranteed in Article 21 of the Constitution includes the right to life guaranteed and the right to food, okay, based on this. First incident what we saw is dowry death. Based on that, Article 21 was released, and seeing to the conditions where the state government had refused giving the food grains to the people, okay, saying that we don't have anything. When it was checked, they found out that the documents which they presented didn't have the real facts, but the real facts were hidden from there. So the fact the state excuses that it did not have adequate funds was shown by wrong means and overflowing with grains, okay, the godowns were overflowing with grains, which you could see. So Article 21 supported the people. Supreme Court ruled that the state had a duty to provide food to all. Photo number 4, okay, here you can see a lot of students who are there and a lady. It therefore directed the government to provide more employment. This is a midday meal scheme, where according to Article 21, food for life should be given, because most of the dropouts used to take place in the schools. To avoid that, okay, this midday meal plan was started, so that at least students get the nutritious food in the school, so they stay back instead of going home and they hardly could come back. To provide food at cheaper rates by the government, ration shops. According to Article 21, okay, ration shops will be provided with all the grains, dal, sugar, okay, all the necessary things. So they will be providing to people at lower cost. So this was started. It also pointed to food commissioners who will be having a check on the implementation of the schemes which are there, government schemes. Then you can see here, common persons access to courts. The courts exercise a crucial role in interpreting the fundamental rights of citizens, and as you saw in the above case, Article 21, on the right to life and right to food, ordered the state to take certain steps to provide food for all, including midday meal scheme. So this is how the final verdict which was given by the Supreme Court. Another issue that affects the common person's access to justice is inordinately long number of years that courts take to hear a case and give justice. So the phrase justice delayed is justice denied is often used to characterize this extended time period that court takes. However, you can see here, in spite of this, there is no denying that judiciary has played a crucial role in democratic India, serving as a check on the powers of the executive and legislature, as well as in protecting the fundamental rights of citizens. Members of the Constituent Assembly had quite correctly envisioned a system of courts with an independent judiciary as a key feature of our democracy. So here very well far vision, okay, people had, so that beforehand they had given this democracy, saying that we have to keep legislature and executive together, whereas judiciary should be kept independent. Hope you all have understood with this topic. We will meet in the next video. Till then, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.